welcome to your latest installment of the Crypto Den and Collective Shift collaborative video where we break down latest technical analysis and fundamental analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins that are relevant in the market recently. Bitcoin has continued to slide lower, as Cass has actually been talking about the last few weeks, and it's continued to be in the red. Let's hand over to you now, Cass, to say, are we still going to be going lower when it comes to Bitcoin, or what are you seeing when it comes to the charts there?
Thanks, Matt. Yes, I will start sharing my screen now. So last week I spoke about, I don't think I had this bear flag last week drawn. So I've done that during the weekend, and last night I was having a look at some charts, and, this bear flag for me is pretty textbook. So we've got our flag here, 2 lines, and then we've got 3 touches either side. So that actually makes it valid. So you've got 1 touch here, another touch here, and another touch here. And then we've got, that's on the top line of the flag. The bottom line, we've got our touch here, and then touch here. And then what I really wanted to see last night, so I put some fibs up on the latest move. So up the top at 27,500 roughly, down to 26,365. And we had a push halfway up to the flag, halfway in the flag, up to the 786 fib level, which was also a level of resistance. And then we dropped. So for me, that's an awesome bear flag. And it's currently playing out because we've currently broken the bottom flag. We are sitting sort of on this level of support around 26.6. We are poking our head down the bottom. So for an overall target of this flag, I would like to see, so I'm going to measure the pole just here. I'm going to clone that. And we put it where we broke out of the flag. So I've got a target down here of around 25K, which is where we've been talking about heading to anyway. We're slowly getting there, so after every push up, there's a pullback. After every push down, there's a push up. So this was here, we had a push down, we're having our push up, which created this flag, and now we're breaking out of this flag. So I do have 2 targets there at the moment. So one is this level here, and I spoke about this last week, this wick that I believe will be cleaned up, just like most wicks are, so with candles. So that's my first target. And then my second target is, once again, we're talking about this 25K, and that actually, before the flag even presented itself, that's an area that we were talking about. Now it's got even more confirmation for us to get there, because that's the whole target of the flag.
Yeah, no, hats off to you, Cass. You identified that 25K level, I think it was 3 weeks ago. I think it was still when we were recording, when I was in the US, and it's slowly grinding lower. And as you said, looks like a lot more like validation in the past couple of weeks that's looking more likely to be the case. Even just looking over the weekend was pretty red, definitely. And I think I can see there that 4 of the last day. Also, this is a 4-hourly chart here, but at least 4 of the last 5 sort of 4-hourly candles have printed pretty like significantly red. So no, it's a nice update there. And what about on the daily? Is there anything worth mentioning?
Firstly, I will say, what I would like to see now, because we're sort of sitting on this level of support at 26.6, I would like a retest of the flag. So I would like us to push up, retest, and then continue down, but we don't always get that. But I just wanted to mention that. But so daily, I'll take out these 2 because my RNDR tool, because on the daily it will just not make it harder to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So daily, we're still nothing really. just once again on this support level that I just spoke about, we did have our bearish engulfing here, which is playing out. But yeah, nothing overly to tell on the daily.
All righty. Yeah. Thank you for that. What about on the MACD down there? I think you might have commented on it maybe last week or the week before. Is anything notable? It's been red in that MACD for quite some time now.
It has. And generally we start off like with big red candles, and they fade lower. Just like here, you can see we've got big green candles, and they fade to light green. What is interesting is we are below, so there could be a little push up here, but we have painted another sort of darker red candle. We can still, so the CCI still has room to move down into this area here, which we would we'd also just continue to paint these red. But when we're down, when these two lines are below this level here, it could signify that a push up is going to come. How high? I can't tell you. We might come up to the top of this trend line up here, but I would just like a little push up to, as I said, retest the flag and then come down. We don't have to have a lot of them. So if you look here, here we've had like quite a lot of green. We've only had a little bit of green here. Just like here, we didn't have that much red, only a little bit of green, but here we've just painted red after red after red. So it's not telling me too long, but I am watching it.
Yeah, no, nice. Thanks for that. Then with respect to ETH, I suppose, we're very, very conscious of the viewer and listeners' time here. And I think Cass has made the judgment call that it's just the same sort of thing that she's been, seeing and sharing the last few weeks with respect to, Bitcoin or BTC showing a lot more kind of signs or a lot more like patterns and whatnot compared to ETH, which is a bit more mixed. Is that more or less the case?
Yeah, exactly. So ETH will follow Bitcoin. Generally, I can see which way we will go on one of the charts. ETH is a little bit messy at the moment, but is and will follow Bitcoin.
Too easy. So yeah, and until things change, we might just keep focusing on BTC on these these weekly installments. Was that it for BTC, Cass?
Yeah, that is me at the moment. Just still looking.
Good. Yeah.
Looking at those targets and slowly getting there.
Yeah, too easy. Understood. So yeah, with the altcoins, every week we try to really cover some market sensitive altcoins or ones that have been outperforming or underperforming recently. We have two this week, and both of them we actually haven't covered before. So this first one, the ticker is RNDR. So the project's name is Render Network. This is, it is still technically its own blockchain, but they are in the process of soon they will be moving and migrating to the Solana blockchain and essentially joining that ecosystem. Similar to, for those of you who follow crypto a bit more closely, you would have seen this with Helium Network earlier this year, where it was its own blockchain and basically migrated over to Solana for various reasons that I might not get into for the sake of this video, but I think that has been sort of a price catalyst for the RNDR token. I was actually looking at, year-to-date performance in USD terms by the altcoins that are probably have more than maybe 20 million market cap. And RNDR was about 6th or 7th year to date in terms of USD performance. So it's gone up like significantly and been one of the standouts like so far in 2023. But I think we still do have a few catalysts coming up, and that's why we sort of I decided to cover it in this week's installment with the Solana migration still on its way. And then as part of that migration, they're actually introducing a new sort of token burning mechanism, which I saw mentioned in the announcement, which again hasn't actually come out yet. So you're probably going to see a lot of speculation and attention come to it. And then just thirdly and finally, the last point, again, why I think it's performed very well is that it's sort of in the middle of this sort of AI narrative. So with the likes of ChatGPT and Google's Bard now sort of really dominating the mainstream, tech headlines. Render has been one of those, projects that sort of has a potential utility and application in the AI space. So far, we haven't really seen blockchain and AI really take off in any meaningful, sustainable way. But Render is sort of at least touted as one of those ones that is probably has one of like the most potential to be like a project that is able to then utilize AI. That's because of, I guess, what it actually is, which I haven't actually explained what the project is. It's essentially a render network. Rendering, for those who might already know, rendering is just the process that gets used a lot in maybe gaming designs. When you're playing games, the graphics render. When you're Photoshop and when you're editing videos, that requires a lot of like rendering, motion graphics and visual effects, all that stuff. Render network is essentially a solution where it allows just people like you and me to be able to contribute unused GPUs, so like spare GPUs on our computers or other devices. We're able to essentially contribute that to Render Network. And for doing so, we receive RNDR tokens for doing that. And people on the other end, so maybe, gaming companies or, other designers and whatnot are able to then use that spare GPU power in theory. So that's basically how it works. And you can see a lot of maybe AI applications kind of overlapping to Render Network. So that's a lowdown on Render. And it's probably one of the only ones in this sort of market where it has been performing really well. So we thought it was about time that we decided to cover it here. So on the charts there, Cass, is there anything you're seeing with the RNDR pair on Binance?
I am on the larger time frame. So I'm on the daily with this coin. We've got a trend line sloping up, which is confirmed because you've got your 4 touches, at least 3. I have marked this wick, and everyone should know what that means. I think it will eventually be cleaned up, squared up, however you want to put it. At the moment, though, I've just done fibs from the last low at about $1.63 up to the top of that wick, which is $2.94. We are currently hitting a level of resistance at about $2.47. So I would like to see a nice healthy pullback into these, hopefully to hit the trend line. And then that would also coincide with either hitting the 786 or the 886 fib level, and then a level of support through there. You can see there is a bit of a triangle, big triangle forming. The top line of the triangle isn't confirmed because we've only got our 2 touches. So it would be good to come back down to this area that I was talking about, have a nice bullish candle or something like that, and then push up to the top to confirm the triangle. But then we also could have a triple top. But we'll have a look at that once we get there. But yeah, at the moment, like we may continue, we may break this resistance level and continue up. But personally, I would like to see a nice healthy pullback to this pink circle, clean up this big green candle as well, and then go from there.
Yeah, understood. I don't, from my knowledge, I couldn't find any dates for when they're deploying or migrating across to Solana. But if you are going to start watching this pair, if you're trading, I would definitely have that as a priority. Maybe just keep tabs on their Twitter, maybe turn their notifications on for the Render Network Twitter account to see if they do, they will eventually announce a date And, that might be relevant for, a bit of volatility leading up to that announcement or that actual deployment of that migration, which, tends to happen in these altcoins.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Cool. One that does have a date, and it will be our next altcoin that will be our last one for this episode is Optimism. So we've actually covered, I think, Arbitrum a number of times on these episodes, and Optimism is in really simple terms, you can just think of it as the same thing as Arbitrum. It's a layer 2 solution on Ethereum. Why do they exist? They exist to sort of take the pressure off of just the Ethereum layer 1 blockchain, which, as many of you would be aware, sort of has suffered from really high fees over the last couple of years when a lot of people start to use it all at once. So these layer 2 solutions alleviate that pressure in theory, and they're trying to drive up their own activity and usage, because the more people that use the like of Optimism and Arbitrum, that sort of will be a benefit for basically the entire Ethereum ecosystem. Optimism here, they have June the 6th. So June the 6th is the date. I would assume very likely that would be either Eastern time or Pacific time in the US. So I'm not sure about an actual time on that. Maybe it's something for you out there to check up if you did want to follow it more closely. But they are deploying what will be their biggest, I think their only upgrade for the year. So this is something they've been working on for a while. The name of this upgrade is called Bedrock. And will probably be the biggest sort of upgrade to Optimism this year. The biggest pro feature or benefit of it is really it's predicted to cut the fees of using Optimism by almost 50%. So again, making it more incentive for everyday people to be like, hey, all of a sudden this fee reduction is enough for me to move off of layer 1 Ethereum, and might incentivize me now to start using Optimism because of those savings. One thing I will also mention here, again, maybe relevant for traders, is that Optimism, unlike Arbitrum, so when the ARB token launched a couple months ago, they uniquely sort of deployed, I think, all of their airdrop allocation at once. So I think it was 11 to 13% of their total supply. They airdropped that all at once. Optimism did the complete opposite. They sort of are drip feeding it. So I think at the moment there might only be about 5% of OP in circulation, and they still have quite a significant amount, I suppose, in dollar terms up their sleeve, which they haven't yet allocated for airdrops. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, throw in some extra incentives around this Bedrock upgrade. And then you might see the likes of probably Synthetics, maybe Uniswap. It's probably two of the DeFi protocols that have been in Optimism's ecosystem since essentially day one. You might see those different projects add in some incentives, like some OP rewards to, again, encourage people to come over. So that's something as well to look out for as part of this. And finally, before I hand over to Cass, worth noting that this is separate from Ethereum's next major upgrade, which is coming, hopefully, it looks like it, by the end of the year. This is all that stuff about proto dank sharding and all that, EIP 4844. All of it is essentially just an upgrade to make it cheaper for layer 2 fees. So the cost of using Arbitrum Optimism will decrease by, it's estimated, about 99%. So that is separate to this Bedrock upgrade. So we're going to get a bit of fee savings with this one on June the 6th. But then the big show is sort of coming later in the year, where all layer 2s will benefit immensely, so long as they're sort of ready for the upgrade when that happens, probably later this year. So a lot to look forward to in Optimism land and the Ethereum space in general. But anything to look forward to on the OP token, Cass?
Okay, so once again, on the larger time frame, so I'm on the daily. I've done a fib level from this local bottom, which is about 88 cents, up to the local top, which is $3.28. I have drawn a bit of a bull flag in. I would like us to come down to this 786 level which is a level of support, and that's at about $1.40. If we break that, the next level would be the 886 at about $1.15. Would hopefully coincide with that June announcement. If we sort of take our time to get down to these levels, and then that would, a push up would coincide with the news, I guess. So at the moment, I will be watching for once we get down to this 786 level, see if there's any indicators too long at there. If not, and if we don't hold, I'll watch what happens at the 886 level. But the flag or the channel is confirmed. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches to the top, 1, 2, 3 to the downside. A break out of this channel, so come down a bit to those fib levels, and then a break, a push up and a break out would be awesome.
Lovely, nice work. Yeah, we'll await that June 6th sort of announcement. And for those of you who really were wanting the exact time, I've got it here. It's 4 p.m. UTC time on June the 6th. So it might be some volatility on that day in particular. And yeah, of course, in probably the week leading up to it. But yeah, that does, yeah, for sure, Cass. That does wrap things up for this week. I know I have lost the screen there, Cass. I've still got your audio coming through. But yeah, I think Bitcoin does tend to keep sliding lower. So we'll probably update you in the next one, and we'll see what happens then. But for now, just a quick recap, maybe from Cass, just a quick recap on what you're seeing with BTC as we wrap up.
So BTC is actually following what we've been talking about for the last at least month, I'd say. Key areas to look for is the 25K area, and then the 20 to 22K area. Next week, I will actually show you this 20 to 22K area and why I think it's important and why I think we'll get there. But at the moment, just watch this, see if we get the retest on the bear flag. If not, the targets, I've showed you the targets.
Nice. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what could happen if we go a bit lower. I know I personally will probably be a buyer at those levels if we do get that low. Many others will, but well, yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens in the meantime. And yeah, until then, thank you all for joining, and see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.